Even like fashion does a full circle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like
People wearing flares again.
yeah, I know. Yeah, like skinny jeans are gone. Like that's
Welcome back.
Welcome back, episode 7 of the Way It Goes podcast.
I got a little bit confused last time because I forgot where we were.
Well, let's just gloss over that. We really appreciate if you tuned in for episode 6, which is quite a serious one, talking about men's mental health. We're back to our normal viewing this week.
Back to our normal hijinks.
Yeah, back to our normal hijinks. Today we're going to be talking about the rise of nerd culture and nostalgia. Oh, we love a bit of nostalgia.
Things that go hand in hand.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I think we were saying when we was talking about, like, doing this as an episode.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, yeah, well, you know, the Marvel movies, stuff like that, like Batman films, DC Universe, stuff like that. Like, it's becoming more and more prominent these days.
Yeah. And you know what, anime as well. Like, all of the, like, Japanese stuff. It's become so mainstream in the UK now, in, like, a good way.
And, like, stuff like that is... I think this aspect of nostalgia in, like, the older people that remember these when they first came out and the younger people that, you know, might be the first time they're seeing it, and it's all one big sort of... I mean, it's all one big marketing strategy, let's be honest there. But
yeah, like the industry has boomed. Like it's not just the gaming industry now. I think the gaming industry has really picked up since, you know, YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that became really mainstream. And I think off the back of that, the whole entertainment industry around that has really started to pick up.
Yeah.
But it's kind of gone full circle. Like I think when we were growing up in school, I was kind of a nerdy kid in school. Like I was always, to be fair, like I was always okay with the popular crowd, but like I wasn't in the popular crowd.
I think I was one of those kids, like much like you, that was just okay with everyone. So no one was really like, oh, that's one of the weird kids. I mean, I hung around with the weird kids, but it was one of those things where it was just like, he's friendly with everyone, sort of, you know, oh, he's cool.
Yeah. I think, for me, it's pretty much the same thing. Like, I kind of got on with everyone. And I was okay with everyone. Like, if one of the popular kids tried picking on me, there would be another popular kid that would be like, no, he's cool, he's safe.
Cool.
Yeah, all that kind of thing.
Oh, God, safe.
I know, that was the phrase, wasn't it?
Safe, man.
Yeah, safe.
Oh,
so yeah, there was that, but I think like I was still kind of the nerdy kid. Like I mean, growing up, I just loved like getting involved in like tech and gadgets and stuff. Like I always got from my granddad. Like he kind of got me into computers and building electronics and stuff like that, and I kind of all stemmed from there. And then that's kind of been my passion.
I have to find that photo of you where you've got your phone, you've got your tablet, and I think you had like an iPod or something.
We're like pretending that we're on the phone, like
Yeah. We was on Skype at the time, so that was what made it even funnier. There was just so much tech in this man's hands.
Yeah. Like literally, it's always been like a passion of mine, and I guess in terms of like nerd culture, like I've really started getting into like anime and stuff recently. Like Ryan, Mr. T, he's got us into that. Like
regular. Well, I say regular, semi-regular viewings.
Like we go around our mates and watch. Get a bit of pizza in or whatever, watch some anime and stuff like that. And it's like that used to be like unheard of. It used to be like a subculture, you know. But now it's so mainstream, and there's lots of shops that have opened up, and you know HMV's come back on the high street, and it's completely different to what I remember it. Comic-Con, yeah. And I mean, not everyone's into this stuff, but it's really become like cool and normal to be involved in that sort of community, like Gundam, for example. I see loads of stuff about that on YouTube. Like a load of people in like the tech community have really got into all that, and they have all the figurines and stuff like that. Collectibles have become, I suppose, it's like more mainstream
kind of tech thing. Like it might be like fantasy tech, but like you can really sort of relate it to real life tech in a way. I guess that's kind of. I mean, I'm just throwing darts at a dartboard just to see what sticks. Like, because for me, like I've always been into Batman.
Yeah, you've always been big on all that.
Book guy.
Yeah.
Games and stuff like that.
You loved Kingdom Hearts as a kid. I remember that.
Don't even get me started on Kingdom Hearts. What a game. Oh my God. If you know, that story is more confusing than anything I will ever see in my entire life, but I love it so much.
And you know what as well I think has really kind of like picked things up a little bit is the YouTubers who are of that sort of age, like similar sort of age to us, I guess, or like early 30s or whatever, that grew up with those cartoons and those different bits and bobs, because stuff like Pokemon cards and things like that have become like a collectible thing, and you've now got YouTubers and stuff that are dedicated to just collecting these rare cards and trying to unbox these rare cards and things like that. And they've got millions and millions of subs, and it, you know, becomes a business.
Speaking of that, did I tell you about the Magic the Gathering card that I pulled?
No.
So, on topic to what you were saying about the cards and stuff, I bought a booster box. Saw it online and was like, do you know what? I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to buy a booster box Magic cards.
Yeah.
Unpacking them all, got one. I was like, so there's different rarities. Mythic rare is like the rarest you can.
Right, okay.
And it was a mythic rare card, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I wonder how much it cost.
Yeah.
£130. And I was sat there and I was like, yeah, that's going to the sleeve right now.
Yeah, have that graded.
It just made me think about it. And I was just like, oh my God, that's so like nowadays, all these things that we would class as like nerdy, so many people are just getting into it just for the love of it.
Yeah.
And just recapturing like their youth in terms of like, this is the thing that I used to do as kids. And now that we have, an unsupervised income, as it were, we can now purchase these things that make us happy.
Yeah.
And like the amount of like games and stuff like that I've bought and played and just really enjoyed the Spider-Man games, the new ones that Insomniac made. Oh my God. It was as if I was playing Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2 all over again.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the same with Spyro, like Insomniac and Spyro.
Yeah.
Because Toys for Bob come out with the remakes of 1, 2, and 3. And I'm playing those, and I'm instantly transported. And it's the same with, I'm so excited for, in February, you've got the Tomb Raider trilogy being remastered. It's not a full...
Is it really?
Yeah, it's not a full remake, but it's like a remaster of the original 3, which is coming to PC and console. And I'm so excited for those because it instantly transports me to being a kid, like sitting with my dad playing PS1 and, you know, just enjoying those games. Like, and it feels so different playing for them now, but and I talk about this with our mate Steve a lot because he loves all that old, like all playing through old games. He loves all the retro stuff. So like when we're sitting there and we're playing a game, it will be like you almost remember it, like you just do it off like as if it's like muscle memory, which is so weird. Yeah. But it goes to show like how your memory kind of suppresses those things, and then when you go back and revisit them, it can kind of spark all those things to come back to you.
Yeah, like I think where it's all become so mainstream now, it's such a good thing. It's such a good thing because I think you should never be ashamed of the what's the word? Like the things that you enjoy doing. Yeah. You know, you should never be ashamed of the things that you enjoy doing, and if you know that's playing like Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering, or you know sitting and playing video games, reading manga, reading you don't read anime, watching anime, stuff like that. You should never be ashamed of that because it's, you know, it's just like someone that goes to the gym. That's what they enjoy. You enjoy anime.
Hobby.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And you know, like I'm going Comic-Con next year, and the first time, it wasn't the first time that I went, it was the second time that I went. It was a couple of years back, and I had the time of my life. Yeah. And I remember walking around, and it was me, Taylor, and Shania. I remember walking around and saying to Tay, like, I love it here. Like, I don't feel judged. Yeah. At all. Like, I could walk around, and I could walk around wearing what I want, you know, talking about whatever nerdy thing that it is that I enjoy. Yep. And I don't feel judgment. Yeah. And having places like that around is so good.
That's the thing. Those conventions used to be kind of a lot smaller, and now they've grown in size over and over. And I think a lot of that is social media and like YouTube and shows becoming more mainstream and things like that, which is really cool. But I think it's just become more socially accepted to enjoy those things. Like, and I think as well, like, I know it's a bit of a strange thing to say, but in terms of what people deem like attractive, quote unquote, I think it used to be like you had to be like a cool person. You know, like you had to be like the Chad guy. You know, like the sport
Chad guy,
like the sports guy. Like you have to be like you know, that sort of character. But it seems now that people are more open to, like, you know, the nerds, quote unquote, are the ones who kind of enjoy more hobbies and have better interests and all that kind of thing, like a bit of personality.
And I think it's the so for many years the typical hero in your Hollywood movies and stuff like that was the sports guy. You know, and now more and more, like, a good one for it is Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
It's the nerdy guy, you know, the guy with a little bit of character and stuff like that, that tends to be the hero now. And I think that plays a big part in people being more open about their interests.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge positive improvement in the world. It's people just being, you know, happy to share their interests. Like, YouTube's a huge platform for that. Twitch, I can't think of any other, you know, like, streaming places, but for like gaming and stuff like that. But, like, they're such big platforms for people just sharing their love and enjoyment of, you know, tech, films, games, music. And that is by far some of the greatest things that, for me personally, I find... I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase it. Like, for me, it's one of the greatest things that you can find out there is people enjoying their passions.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Because I love watching people enjoy their passions.
Yeah, even if it's something that I'm not particularly interested in, if someone's talking passionately about something, I find it really engaging.
Yeah.
Because I want to learn. I want to learn about it. You know, like, it might not be, for example, D&D, right? So I've never really got into D&D, and maybe that's my own doing. It's just something that I've not found an interest in yet, whatever. But you guys have played Dungeons and Dragons and all that kind of thing.
I've poorly run a few games.
Yeah, so you've got experience in it, and some of our friends dabble in it and stuff like that. For me, it's never really been something that I've, like, caught an interest in. But seeing you guys, like, get so into it and figure out the storylines behind it and like what you want to do with it, it's exciting to listen to and to watch, because it's like someone's passionate about something and it's your storytelling, and it's that kind of thing. And it goes the same for anything. Like, if I'm watching someone on YouTube and they're talking passionately about a topic or a product or whatever that they really love, it just becomes really engaging to watch.
Exactly.
And it's nice, like, to see people enjoying themselves.
Taking it back to sort of D&D in the sense, like, when I came to you after I ran a game, it was like a small game with Kane, Mel and all that. We had one section where Mel was like, I want to... So to set the scene, they are going towards the, like, big bad guy's headquarters.
Right.
And they're walking this path, and Mel was like, "I want a cartwheel." And I was like, "You want a what?" She was like, "I want a cartwheel." I was like, "Okay, roll for me." Does the roll, everything like that, and I'm like, "Cool, you're cartwheeling the rest of the journey." And it's just silly stuff like that you can share that story.
Yeah,
with
you can
people.
let your imagination go wild with it.
Exactly, and you can share that story. And, you know, some people might not find it funny, you know, but, you know, to us at the time, we're finding it absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Because you're just picturing it in your head, this person, like, everyone else is walking and this person's just cartwheeling by the side.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is just feeling that it's accepted to enjoy those things now. Like, it's so cool to see mainstream media taking notice of the video game industry more, the anime industry, you know, cartoons in general, and kind of these more silly shows and things like that. Like, and the storylines of those are taken more seriously as well. Like, and I think a few years ago it wouldn't really be as socially accepted. Like, you'd be potentially seen as a bit of an outcast if you were one of those kind of social groups. But now it's like, it's almost becoming cool to be nerdy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's really nice to see. And I think, like you say, social media plays a big impact in that as well.
100%.
And nostalgia, I think nostalgia is a big part of it. Like, I always watch Jay Swingler from TGF, and he's pretty much the same age as us.
What do you mean?
Yeah. And like I grew up watching their stuff, and now he's kind of on this journey where he's exploring nostalgia quite a lot, I think, in his videos. And I found that really, really fascinating to watch, because it's like someone of my generation who grew up with the same, you know, the same games and the same social stuff at school and all those kind of things. You start leaning into that and exploring what that means to you. And I think nostalgia is a funny one, because you might be remembering things fondly that aren't actually that great. It might just be something triggers your memory and you're transported to that scene. Like for me, it's either like a bit of music, or I see a clip from a game or a film or something that I watched years ago, or you know, something like that, and all the memories flood back. And I think you've got quite a selective memory. Your brain is quite good at just piecing together what it wants to remember.
I remember playing so there was a couple of games that I used to play a long time ago that I thought, oh my god, they're so good. I think it was the original Jak and Daxter.
Oh yeah,
Jak and Daxter Precursor Legacy. And I remember playing that for the first time, and when I was little, I used to have the map. Like, there was a map that came in the box. I used to have the map, and I used to be like, this is so cool. Like, it used to give me real trouble with some of the bosses and stuff like that. And then I went back and I replayed all of the Jak games.
Yeah.
And I played the first one, and I was like, oh, this is not as good as I remember.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I think there's an element of that, like you think something's really great, or even if you go back and visit a place that you've not been to in a while, and you're like, if you used to love it as a kid because of like the arcades or, you know, something that happened, and then you go back and you're like, it's actually like not the best.
No, not at all.
There's so many things like that I've encountered where I've got this fond memory of it, but I think it's more your memory of that time period, or
I'd agree.
Or even if it was like something you used as like a coping mechanism at the time or something like that, you just...
Something that made you happy.
In
the moment,
Yeah, and obviously your taste changes over the years and all that kind of thing anyway. Like RuneScape, for example. I've sunk hundreds of hours into RuneScape, and I can't do it now. I can't tolerate it because I just get bored of the grind.
Oh, I'm sorry. I will never abandon that game like you have abandoned that game.
No, I know, but like it's one of those things where it's effectively a massive online multiplayer RPG, and it's very grindy. You have to kind of like do skilling and stuff like that. Like you might be standing there in one place doing the same thing over and over just to get skill points and whatever.
But I think a lot of people come back to it because of that nostalgia value.
Exactly, yeah. And that's the only reason I ever go back to it, is because I hear a bit of music from the game and I'm instantly transported to being a kid and being so excited.
Sea Shanty 2.
Sea Shanty 2. Yeah, and all those kind of things. Like I'm transported to that time, and I'm so excited for it. And I get on it, and I'm like, I enjoy it for 10 minutes, and I'm like, no, it doesn't hit the same.
Nah.
And I feel like that for a lot of things. But
I don't know how it doesn't hit the same.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I still love it. I've still got a place for it.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where like you kind of, like you were saying, you have a place for it in your heart, and it gets to a point where it's kind of like, okay, it's done now.
Yeah, you don't want to like become bitter about something or become
no, you don't want to stop doing something to the point where you hate it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when, I mean, ever so slightly off topic, when you see a lot of YouTubers that used to do like certain video games and stuff like that, and they phase that out because they used to love the game, but when they made it a job,
became a chore
to play it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think like it's probably quite easy to transition from something being something you're really passionate about into something that you find a bit overbearing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of where I'm at with some of those things. Like if I feel nostalgia with something, I kind of revisit it every now and then.
Yeah.
But if I try and like lean into it too much, I'd get bored of it, and then it would kind of eradicate that good memory for me.
Yeah.
So I'm quite careful when it comes to stuff like that. But like obviously video games, music's a massive one for me as well. Like sometimes I'll hear a song and it just reminds me of a time. Like it will remind me of when I was at this party, or it will remind me of like when we was out in the car, like when I first started driving, or it will remind me of, I don't know, a person or a place or something like that. And it just, I think the nostalgia side of it is, it's your brain remembering the key aspects of it, like the either the good or the bad, but not the full experience. It's quite selective.
2 songs. Chasing Status end credits.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And No Role Models, J. Cole. Those 2 songs transport me back into your car.
Yeah.
Midnight.
Yeah.
Just going down the A2.
Yeah, and we're just cruising.
We're
just going wherever.
Playing.
Yeah.
Oh.
End up at the beach of the evening or something. Grab a bite to eat.
In Dover.
Yeah.
That's a funny story, actually.
Yeah, just kept on driving. Story. Ended up in Dover. Like there's so many different things that. But again, that's like a selective memory, because I remember a lot of the time when I first started driving anyway, I would go out and I would go on those long night drives just because I was feeling pretty naff and I was in a bit of a bad place, and it was like a sort of an escape for me. But then I don't think of it that way now. I think of the positive of it, which was like enjoying that song, cruising with my mates, all that kind of thing. Like, it's interesting how your memory blots certain bits out.
Or like a recent one, Knocked Loose, Counting Worms. It's a short one. I think it's like 1 minute and 30, something really short. But will always now take me back to when me and Taylor went to Face Down. Me, Taylor, and Kano went to Face Down, and the night that I realised, oh, this is how clubbing works. That started playing. Me and Taylor just look at each other like, oh my God, it's the song. Run to the dance floor.
Yeah.
And like, completely off topic, but it's that. When I look back on moments like that, it just gives me such a nostalgia trip. Or when I listen to those songs and music and stuff like that, it gives me such a nostalgia trip. But it's to such a good place.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. Like, there's just something about doing the nerdy stuff that I love that I guess the only way you can really describe it is like it takes you back to your kind of childhood.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you that childish sense of wonder.
Yeah.
What I mean, like, it kind of just brings you back to that point, and I think that's probably the thing that a lot of people experience when these, like the Pokemon cards, stuff like that, get promoted so much. A lot of people just kind of look back, oh yeah, and like they might get their old card collection out and just flick through it. And I think, like we said before, nostalgia and this new rise of a nerd culture, as we've called it, is so good for people who may be experiencing like that sense of, well, all of the things that I really enjoyed aren't really a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're all coming back.
Yeah, they are all coming back. Yeah, like even like fashion does a full circle, doesn't it? Like
people wearing flares again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like skinny jeans are gone. Like that's but like that's the thing.
What do you mean?
That's like at the moment, everyone's like, you've got to be wearing like straight cuts again. You've got to be wearing baggy cargos.
Can I just interject? What are people's beef with skinny jeans?
I don't know.
I grew up as a scene kid.
Yeah.
Skinny jeans.
It was always skinny jeans in the scene kids era. Yeah. I mean, I've only just recently, to be honest with you, ditched the skinny jeans. It's literally only and these cargos I'm wearing right now, these are slim, so they're not exactly like baggy, but I've only just ditched, and I have got rid of my skinny jeans.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
But that's the thing, like fashion does a full circle, and like often like I'll be out with like my mum or something, and she'll see someone wearing something, and she'll be like, "Oh, they were really popular like when I was a kid and when I was in school." And it kind of does like a generational thing where it goes around. Yeah. And same with hairstyles, like you had long hairstyles, and then all of a sudden the perms came back and all that kind of thing. Like we had the whole Justin Bieber haircut thing where everyone had long hair, and now all of a sudden everyone's back to short fades and stuff like that, or like you've got long grown out hair, whatever it is. Like everyone's obviously got their own.
Do you know what's
style
funny
and
about
stuff,
that?
but.
When I'm flicking through like dating apps and stuff like that, I look at some of the photos and I just think, do you know what? I've seen photos of like my mum's era, with like her friends, and some of the people were wearing very similar clothes.
Yeah.
Now.
It's interesting.
And do you
isn't
know
it?
what? Like, fair play, because it looks cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I think 90s fashion's quite big right now.
90s fashion's quite big now. Like that 70s, 80s fashion's kind of coming back in again. And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm band t-shirts and skinny jeans are my thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, seeing that, I love that people were exploring different things again.
Yeah.
Because it got to a point in like sort of the late 90s, early 2000s where it was kind of like you had your set like wardrobe, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Where, you know, if you was a bit of a rocker, be baggy jeans, a band t-shirt, long hair. You know, if you was a bit of a, you know, like you liked your, I'm gonna say it, you liked your rap, stuff like that you wear, tracksuit bottoms, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was kind of like set, but now more people are exploring different options,
different styles. I think fast fashion's helped with that in a way.
Yeah.
Because obviously you've got like the big websites now that you can just buy clothes from really easily. There's lots of different stuff available. So that's quite cool. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I think as well, it's like social media stuff like TikTok and things like that, because it's so big and it's so fast, it's enabled people to really start trends quite easily.
Oh,
for better or for worse. It's not always a good thing, obviously, but you see like something will go viral overnight on TikTok and then it becomes the next big fashion piece or the next big accessory to buy or whatever it might be. So there is that aspect of it as well. But there's something about seeing someone exploring nostalgia and seeing them light up that's really like cool. Like I'm sure you've probably experienced it like with one of your parents when they talk about like, oh, when we used to go out like for drinks when we were growing up, or like when we went to a club, or
it's just the look of admiration on my mum's face when I come back absolutely out of my mind drunk.
I remember.
I remember those days. I'm so proud of you.
Like things like that. I think it's
that is, by the way, not to promote that my mum is trying to make me an alcoholic or something. Like my mum just sort of looks at me like, oh, he's drunk again.
Oh no. Oh, love him. Yeah, like if my mum's talking about like a time they went out or something like that, you just see like the light up of, or if you hear a song that you really used to love and you just kind of light up with that. I think it's good for like bridging that generational divide as well, because
100%.
when like if we were to ever have our own kids, it then is like it's something that you can share with them and you can bond with them. And you know, if you're into the kind of the nerd culture, quote unquote, then you're probably going to be interested in some of the things that they get to play with, like things that don't go out of fact. Lego, for example. Like Lego is truly for all ages, because you've got these like like you've got the crazy sets that are like hundreds and hundreds of pounds, thousands of pieces, but you've also got like it's just a toy for kids. So there's lots of things like that now that kind of like bridging that generational divide a little bit. Fun for all ages and that kind of thing, which is quite cool.
God, I love Lego.
There you go. See,
it's so much fun,
and again, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm one of these people that I don't really care what other people think about my hobbies. I'm very open. Like I'm very openly a fan of D&D. I'm very openly a fan of playing Magic the Gathering. I should play it more, but I don't, because I know this is going to go out and I'm going to get a text from Taylor saying, well, every time I ask you to play, you don't want to play.
It's one thing wanting to play, it's the other thing having the motivation and the time.
Exactly. Well, I've got to put the cards together, then I've got to play a game, and then like I was like, I think the last time we played it, I was like, Tay, mate, I just don't have the brain capacity for this today. Oh, but it's like all of this, these like nerdy things, or you know, or quote unquote nerdy things, that are now out in the world. I think the key thing to remember is that they're all making people happy.
Yeah. Another good one is Disney adults.
Oh, we talked about this the other day, didn't we?
Because there's a certain like group of people who are like totally against it. I think like there's a bit of a social divide there. Like there's some people who look like Disney's for kids. I hate all that stuff. And there's some people who are like well into their 30s, 40s, whatever, and they will still love going to Disneyland, and they'll still love exploring all that. And again, it's a nostalgia thing, isn't it? It's like exploring childhood. It's going somewhere where it's all about making people smile and be happy, and for there to be this
recapturing the magic of youth.
Yeah, and I find Christmas the same.
Yeah,
Christmas is one of them things where as a kid you're like so excited for Christmas, and I've got a lot of nostalgia around Christmas, and putting up the decorations and spending time with family and the presents you got as a kid and whatever else. There's lots of things that you remember, but there's definitely been a period of a few years that it's kind of lost its magic for me, and I'm like, I'm not that interested right now. But then it depends on your situation, because if it depends on what you're doing to celebrate and that kind of thing. Like if I had big plans for Christmas, or if I was doing something that was kind of nostalgic or something like that, it would be completely different. Or if I was to have my own kids and then your passion's lit up for it through them and that kind of thing, it all goes down to, I guess, how you experience stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think for me, I am a very I'm a very hands-on kind of person. So in terms of the things that I enjoy, it's specifically stuff from my childhood. It's always been very much toys, not so much films and TV shows and stuff like that. Toys and things that I can play with, things that I can make up stories in my mind with. I remember I used to have this toy castle set.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. Me and my dad, we pulled my duvet off of my bed.
Yeah.
And made it into a mountain.
Right, yeah.
And got loads of the green and tan army men.
Yeah, yeah.
And was putting them on there and had a little war.
Yeah.
And it as a child, that inspired so much imagination and so much wonder for me.
Yeah.
That when I look back on it, stuff like that, it makes me understand, like we were saying about Disney adults. It makes me understand that.
Yeah.
When I think about the stuff that I used to enjoy, it makes me understand why people still enjoy to go to Disneyland. Still enjoy to go to Disneyland. There we go. Still enjoy to go to Disneyland, and still enjoy what would be considered childish things.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
We say it all the time, live your best life.
Yeah. I think that's the thing though, the whole rise of nerd culture thing.
Yeah.
I think the social stigma around those things is kind of disappearing a little bit, which is really 100%. Cool. For me, I think, I don't know, I don't really fall into any of those camps particularly. I'm not big on a certain thing, but I just think overall it's nice to see that all these different types of media and this stuff that was popular in the 90s and the early noughties and stuff is coming back.
Yeah.
And that, I guess, leans into how nostalgia plays a part in people's lives. It gives you that sense of wonder that you used to once have.
Yeah, it's like a serotonin kick.
Yeah.
You think about something you used to enjoy, and immediately, A, you want to do it, and B, you just remember all of the really good times you had when you did that thing.
Yeah.
And to put a spin on it, for me, going back to things that I used to enjoy and used to love, it plays such a good impact on my mental health.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And doing things that I enjoy, like D&D, stuff like that, where I can have a creative outlet. I would consider myself a creative person when I have the right motivations, stuff like that. But I would consider myself to be a creative person. I love writing the campaign that I'm writing for D&D right now.
Yeah.
I come up with ideas that I just sit there and I'll be on the bus to work and I'll be typing in my Google document, adding this to the story, and then when I get home, I'll go on my computer and I'll type in things that I want to add to the story, and those quote unquote nerdy things just give me it gives it such a there's such a creative aspect to it
Yeah.
that I don't think a lot of people explore.
No, that's true.
Especially when you think of like Comic-Con, some of the costumes that people make are incredible.
Yeah, like out of this world.
Out of this world, incredible. Like, there's a few people I follow on like TikTok that they regularly make costumes that they wear to, you know, events and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know, I wish I could do that. I don't have the time, and second of all, I don't have the money. But stuff like that, it just gives me such a sense of, like, I guess, pride in the person. Like, because I'm like, wow, that is living your best life.
Yeah. Do you know what sucks as well is that I think for like the generation of kids going forward, a lot of the entertainment is like on an iPad or on a screen. And whilst, you know, it's an amazing tool for education, yeah, sure. And obviously, like, there's so many games and stuff that you can play that are really good and all that kind of thing. And it's not just about not having much screen time and going outside and playing and stuff like that. It's more about, like, some of the hobbies and some of the toys and stuff that we had when we were a kid. They're not as mainstream now, or if they are, it's for nostalgic reasons, and it tends to be the adults that are getting into them, like Lego and stuff like that. Like,
Action
I think
Man.
there's Action Man, yeah. Remember Stretch Armstrong?
Oh God, I remember him splitting in my wardrobe. Yeah, I remember having to clear that mess up. Yeah.
And what were those? Do you remember the alien eggs that had like the jelly in?
The ones that you
and there was always the rumour.
If you put two in the same one, and then if you close the lid and you leave it for an hour,
they're gonna
make a baby.
Yeah. Oh. There was that rumour where every school had that rumour. Everyone thought that was the case, and everyone tried it.
Everyone tried it.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, can I borrow your one so I can and I'll give you the other one, and then they got that one back.
Yeah, exactly.
Tamagotchis.
It
just made me think of Tamagotchis.
You know, it's interesting. I can't remember the name of the creator now. It's going to really bug me. But there's a guy that I always see pop up on Facebook, and I think he's got a YouTube channel. And it's him and his little girl, and he basically shows her all of his like 80s and 90s toys. And she's like, absolutely like, what on earth is this? Like, he shows her like a Walkman, and he shows her like a Tamagotchi and Etch-a-Sketch and all that kind of stuff. And she's like blown away by all of it. Like, what on earth is this? But you can see they're really bonding over it, which is great to see. But also, it's just like, it does give you that nostalgia because it's like there's a whole generation of people who are just not sure what stuff is like.
You saying about the portable, tape recorder machine.
Yeah, Walkmans, yeah.
Walkmans, that's it. Well, how did I forget it that quickly?
It's been a few years.
It's been a few years. Reminded me of, I had a portable radio, but
put
your headphones in and you clip it to yourself. And Oh my God, how cool was that?
Yeah, that was, yeah. Do you remember when like MP3 players first came out? And you used to have like a USB MP3 player. Everyone ripped music off a LimeWire at the time, because that was how the world worked. And you've got a virus on your computer because of it. And you'd have like
num.exe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you'd have like maybe room for it was like a 200 megabyte stick, a 256 meg stick of memory on there or whatever. And you'd have enough room for like maybe like 10, 15 songs.
My MP3 player, I think, had 10 songs on it. Evanescence, Bring Me to Life.
Wow.
Yeah. 3 Days Grace. Yeah, I had some bangers on there.
Yeah,
I had some bangers on there. It is dead as a dodo now.
Oh, 100%.
I think the last time I remember seeing it, I took the battery out, and the battery had all battery acid coming out of it.
Yeah, of course it would have done if you left it in there all that time.
Well, I mean, yeah. But yeah, no, like, I just reminded me of the first time that I put headphones in.
Yeah, I find it hard to get rid of that stuff.
In-ear headphones.
Yeah. I
put it in, and I thought everyone could hear the music around me.
Yeah.
And I'm sat there, I'm like, I better turn that down. Like, I think I'm sharing headphones with someone, and they were like, why are you turning it down for?
Do you remember buying ringtones off the back of a magazine? You used to have to text so you get like the game magazines and stuff like that. I can't remember what specific ones, but on the back of the magazine or on newspapers as well and stuff like that, you used to have like text this number and text like whatever code on top of it, and it would be like a list of like chart songs.
That's crazy.
And it would like give you the file for the like the MP3 to put as your ringtone on your phone. Like if my phone, if that little rectangle made a single noise now, I'd smash it up. I can't.
Facts.
I can't do. It's on. I'm on silent all day, every day.
All day.
I get my notifications on my watch.
I don't even have vibrate on.
No, nor me.
Vibrate.
I cannot do it. But back in the day when I was in school, that would have to have the latest song on it, blaring. As soon as someone calls me, hello, flip it down.
Yeah. That's me with a ringtone, yeah.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah,
that's me.
Yeah, I paid $2.99 for that. Yeah.
Or the one thing that pops into my mind, McDonald's when they did the demo discs for PlayStation.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's mad. Yeah, all the PlayStation 1 titles. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. I have all of them.
Yeah.
None of them work.
Obviously.
Man, CDs were so flimsy. And I just I remember going there, getting a Happy Meal, getting the latest disc. And I remember like once I got a disc and I saw, oh no, I've got that one. I remember my dad taking it and go, hold on, go up to the counter. Oh, sorry, he's already got this one. Can I have a different one? And getting a different one, like different times. Different times, man.
Yeah.
Like getting home and being so excited to put it in my PlayStation and see what demos I've got.
Yeah.
I remember spending hours on demo discs. Didn't even have the full game.
No.
I would play that demo over and over and over and over again. There was the bloody Stuart Little demo.
Yeah.
I used to play that demo so much. And it's just, like, thinking back on it, God, I must have been from like the ages of 5 to 12 in my own little world for like 90% of that time.
Yeah. That's the idea, I suppose, isn't it? That's an ideal way.
To be at that age. I suppose. Yeah.
But yeah, like there's so many different things. But look at how excited we are talking about it. That's the thing about nostalgia, isn't it?
True.
Like when you think about it now, compared to what we have now, it's just old tat.
Yeah.
But it holds a special place with you.
It's my old tat.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that. It holds a special place in your heart for like all the things, all the memories that you created with it and stuff like that. That's what's really cool about it. And even stuff like, I remember having like when I first got a Nintendo DS. And playing games on that, like to be able to have, or a PSP, like having like full-fledged games on the move with you, that was like wild at the time.
The first one I had was the Nintendo DX. Is that right? No, XP. Sorry, XP.
Oh, the Game Boy Advance.
It's Game Boy Advance. That's the one.
Yeah, SP. Yeah.
Oh, playing like there was. What did I have? The Action Man game.
It's not about Pokemon for me.
Do you know what? I had it. Like never had a Pokemon.
You've never got into Pokemon.
I had a Game Boy. Never had Pokemon.
Fair. You missed out.
I mean, I did. Because I tried playing it on the Switch. Yeah. I just did not enjoy it.
Yeah, it's not the new ones aren't the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same at all. But the thing is, like, I just genuinely I didn't enjoy it at all. But like the older ones look like they had so much more effort put in.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And that's not to diminish what the effort that goes into the games. I guess now, like
they become what once was a passion project becomes a big franchise or whatever, and then it becomes overplayed, and they just pump stuff out for money's sake and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You see that a lot with different things, whether that be films, games, whatever. You see that a lot, but it kind of is what it is at the end of the day. I understand why they do it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
No, that's the way it goes.
Oh, there it is. That's the way it goes. Got the plug in there. Well done. The other one for me, do you know what? Minecraft.
Oh!
Because come on, like I will still happily play Minecraft now.
I'm really sorry to cut you off. This is your sign for your monthly binge of Minecraft for 2 weeks, and then you stop playing again for the next 6 months.
Yeah. We go back to it. But like I've been playing that game on and off since like the pre-alpha days when it was like just a new thing.
I remember
like easily over 10 years now I've been playing on it. I'd hate to think how many hours
I remember going to your house and you'd be like, have you seen this new game?
Yeah.
You've seen this new game, Minecraft?
Yeah. And then it became big because X's Adventures in Minecraft on YouTube. And then it was like, it's like a whole
shaped my childhood. It did.
Yeah, like,
shaped my childhood with Minecraft at least.
Yeah, that's something that I think because the game's evolved so much over the years, that's why we can still enjoy it the same way we did back then. Whereas
true.
some things, obviously, if it is just how it was, then you remember it differently. I often see that, like, I often play like a retro game, and I'm like, God, this looks terrible. But I remember at the time the graphics were like outstanding. But it's because we've come so far since then. We've now got all these amazing games with ray tracing and millions of polygons, and it's like everything looks photorealistic, and the physics are all perfect. And then I go back to like Tomb Raider 1, and I'm like, this is a janky mess. I can't possibly play it. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So yeah, that's nostalgia. It's one of those things, like, it's cool to take a trip down memory lane every now and then and just think back to how things have changed and all that kind of thing, and just explore those memories. It's fun. I think
when you look back on stuff like that, it's so like, the only way you can really describe it is nostalgic.
Yeah,
it's so nostalgic, but I mean, you look at us in this entire episode, I don't think I've stopped smiling.
No, I know, me too.
Like, I don't think I've stopped smiling.
My cheeks actually hurt a little bit.
Same. I was like, I want to stop smiling, but I don't want to look like I'm giving you resting bitch face. But this is the kind of thing that nostalgia brings. Just makes you happy.
Yeah.
You know, it just makes you happy.
Yeah, even if it's not, even if you're clouded by that happiness.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Like, it is what it is, right?
I'm sorry, I'm not being rude. I'm just opening the Discord to prepare for our next segment.
Would you rather? So I'm gonna hit you with a would you rather question.
Yes, please, because I still haven't got it open yet.
Organised. So, would you rather be someone who compulsively laughs during sad moments, or who cries when someone makes a joke?
This is this is going to make me sound really bad, but laughs during sad moments.
But you actually imagine you're like at a funeral, and like everyone's like sobbing, and you're just like in roaring laughter.
This is why I said it's going to make me sound really bad, but like I don't cope well in sad situations. So normally I'm like trying to make funny things happen or be funny because I want to bring everyone back up again. Yeah. So I mean, this isn't, you know, this is kind of an actual thing for me. It isn't.
I suppose you're right, yeah.
You've given me existential crisis with a would you rather question.
I suppose you're right. It kind of is how we are when you put it like that. It's kind of true that I suppose if you compulsively laugh during sad moments, but if you cried when someone made a joke, like, you could never really have fun, could you?
Loophole. Do you cry with laughter? There you go. Fixed it.
Well, there we go. That's ruined the whole question. Let's move on. Right. So, this one cracked me up. Would you rather let your mum or your ex create your next online dating profile?
Mum.
Really? Okay, fair.
I don't even need to say anything.
Okay.
Mum.
Fair enough. No, I'd let my ex create my dating profile. Do you know why?
At least you ended on good terms.
Yeah. Do you know why? Because I think my mum would like gush about me to the point where, like, you know, when like it's just a mum thing, isn't it, to be like proud of your child, and so you'd like make it a bit mushy and a bit cringy.
I think my mum would be too real and just be like, "Get him off my hands, please."
No, I think my mum would make mine really like over the top yuck, and like, oh, it's so wonderful and so lovely and all that kind of thing. And I would just, it's not a good look, is it? With all good intention, of course, but I think, and also like if your ex makes the profile, as long as it didn't go terribly wrong, obviously, I'd like to think that if my ex made my dating profile, it would be quite true to who I am. Like, they probably know some of your flaws, right, and some of your imperfections, but if the relationship was okay, if it was good, then in theory, it should give the next person a more rounded view of...
The less said about my ex making my profile, the better.
Well, let's not get bogged down.
I'm bogged down, Dan.
Yeah, I think we're opposite there. I think I would let my ex create my next online dating profile.
For me. I've got one for you.
Go on.
Would you rather be in jail for 5 years or in a coma for 15?
Oh.
Not a bit more serious, but I mean, you could.
I mean, the thing is that I suppose the dilemma isn't it? Is that if you're in jail for 5 years, then you remember that 5 years. You've got to mentally endure that 5 years. I think I'd really suck in that situation. Like, I think I'd really struggle with that.
But you've got to remember, if you're in a coma for 15,
that's a long time to lose.
It's a long time to lose, and you've got to think of how much changes in that time.
True, but I suppose the same could be said for, you know, people who do like life in prison, not life, but like, I don't know, 25, and then come out and the world is so different. They don't know anything about technology. They don't know anything about the social norms and all that kind of thing. I suppose it's kind of a similar thing, isn't it? Oh, I don't know.
I think I'd do the 5 years in prison, purely because I don't think I'd like waking up 15 years later and then seeing how much has changed. I think if I did 5 years, not much is going to change in 5 years. That's the bit for me.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think you'd probably be like scarred a bit from that experience, like being inside for 5 years. But then at the same time, you could have people visit you, couldn't you, every now and then?
Yeah.
Whereas if you were in a coma for 15 years, like, let's say you've got kids, they're grown up by then. Or let's say you're in a relationship, they've moved on by that point, probably. Exactly. Let's be honest. Like, they're not going to, even if they're, you know, totally in love with you, like 15 years, they're going to probably...
That's a long time. Potentially they're going to moved on.
Yeah, they're going to, even if they still want to be with you, they probably will have moved on during that time. Yeah, I think you're right. I think jail for 5 years. 15's too long to lose. Life's too short.
Too long to lose. I've got another one for you.
Go on.
Would you be rather?
I would be rather.
Would you rather be stuck in your favourite video game, or stuck in your favourite film?
This is hard for me because I struggle with favourites. I don't even have a favourite colour. That's weird, isn't it? Is that weird?
No.
Really?
I mean, I have a favourite colour.
What's your favourite colour?
Purple.
Fair.
But I don't think it's weird to have a...
I don't think...
There's a lot of colours. There's a lot to choose from.
There is. This is my problem. I like a lot of things.
Exactly.
So it's the same with films, and like I've got so many that I could pinpoint that I like absolutely love. But it's very rare for me to say that's my favourite thing.
I mean, it's like music for me. My favourite song changes on the drop of a hat. Like,
true, yeah. So that's dependent on mood, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and I think for me, what I'm listening to at the moment, because I'm the type of person that will listen to a song on repeat for like 6 months and then be like, cool, I've listened to it enough, so I hate it now. I won't listen to it for the next year.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm kind of like that. I don't know. So favourite, would you rather be stuck in your favourite game or your favourite film? That's difficult because I don't really have a favourite game or a favourite film. But if I was to pick like some of my favourites, I guess it would be game anyway, because a game, there's not always a single trajectory.
That's true.
There's not always a set storyline. Sometimes like games are open world, or
that's true.
There's choices to be made that you can alter the reality of the outcome, or like alternate endings, whatever. Whereas a film, it's kind of like one story and that's your lot. So unless you were to pick like a film that's like everyone's happy ending, everyone's become a millionaire and they're all happy, they're all in love and everything's wonderful. Like, unless you were to do that. It depends on
your favourite game and your favourite film, really, because like imagine your favourite game something like Resident Evil.
yeah. I was going to say like a game that first sprung to mind, Far Cry, and for me, Far Cry 5, I would not want to be stuck in that. No. But then at the same time, favourite films, I mean, it really depends on genre. One of my favourite films that I've watched again recently, Four Lions. And Four Lions is not a film you would want to be stuck in either.
No, because that's kind of embedded in the real world.
Yeah, exactly.
Bit. So, yeah, no.
That's a tough one.
I think for me, it would probably be favourite game. Just because at least then there's the opportunity for like superpowers and stuff like that.
Yeah, fair.
So for me, like, favourite game, because then I could do cool stuff. That's the dumbest sentence I've ever said in my life. But it's true.
It's on record forever.
It's on record forever. I could do cool stuff.
Yeah, fair.
Also, another thing, off topic, that I want to just clear the air on.
This will be good. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I said in the first episode of the podcast that I did not know how to use a washing machine.
Oh, you haven't?
I've learned how to use a washing machine.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all of you who ridiculed me.
I'm not surprised.
After the first episode, reminding me, how do you not know how to use a washing machine? Yeah, fair. I have since learned how to use the washing machine.
This is progress we love to see.
Thank you very much.
And on that excellent bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Way It Goes podcast. It's been a bit of a silly one, just exploring some memory lane for us, I suppose, and chatting about old times. I'd love to know, like, if you guys are nostalgic about something, or if there's like a certain thing that you just sticks in your memory, a TV show, a toy, just something, a blast from the past that really makes you smile. I'd love to hear about it in the comments below, and share the experience with us.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Please.
Find us on all socials at tweak.podcast, apart from Twitter. We don't do Twitter.
We don't talk about Twitter.
We don't do Twitter.
It's like that one song from Enchanter. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Twitter.
Yeah, exactly that. But yeah, YouTube, Insta, TikTok at tweak.podcast. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Have a lovely day.